As a lot of people are guilty of cross-contamination by placing their masks on a surface. Thank you.
Don't forget the microphone. You touched it.
I'm not afraid of COVID. I'm more afraid of the biologics. All right, so my name is Kristen Meagan Kelly. I reside in Hudsonville. I'm here today representing a lot of my neighbors and friends who have children at this school. I can confidently say I am the only subject matter expert in this room. You've heard from a pediatrician, you've heard from healthcare workers. I am the only subject matter expert in this room to speak on masks. I applaud the parents who've done their due diligence. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my background. I have spent the past 19 years working in the field of occupational and environmental toxicology as a senior industrial hygienist. I am cross-credentialed in public health, decontamination site management. I've had an infection control and prevention committees, infection disease committees in hospitals. In fact, hospitals cannot be built, like if you have new construction, because I spent most of my career in healthcare, they cannot build a building without consulting with an industrial hygienist. Why? I'm going to explain that. So you have to understand my frustrations. I'm glad I went last because then I can address some of the fear that I'm hearing and the misinformation. I'm going to give you some credit for the fact that you haven't heard of my profession, most likely, because the media has the MDs and the DOs and the nurses on TV. They are skilled, they treat people, I protect people. And I train those doctors that are on TV, and they are not telling you the truth. The doctors that are telling you the truth, by the way, are here in town. The frontline doctors, neurologists, pediatricians, the ones I work with around the country are here this weekend at an event. And we are trying to let all the superintendents know, all the staff know. I understand you've been led wrong. This is not political for me. I'm a military veteran. I spent 9 years in the Air Force working in bioenvironmental engineering. Those burn pits you heard of, we air sampled them. 9/11, we air sampled them. Tell me why now, during every previous pandemic, my profession has been involved with air sampling and doing risk mitigation, selecting the controls. Why were we ignored during COVID? That's right, because this is not about the health and safety. That's not my opinion, that is fact. Because the fact is, every single mask that someone has on this room has 0% efficacy. The reason I know that is because I am a court-credentialed expert. I have been on countless court cases over the past year, and I've won every single one in favor of doctors I've defended, military people, you name it. Teachers suing their employers. I've protected them, and we've won every case because the science is on my side. So please write this down. Everybody write this down. Go on YouTube and look up Petty Podcast. Petty, Stephen Petty is a mentor of mine. He's the highest credentialed industrial hygienist in my field. I'm trying to get you to understand that masks do not work. We must follow something called the hierarchy of controls. It's a little upside down pyramid. We cannot engineer out the hazard, we cannot substitute out the hazard. It's not a chemical. We have a virus. It's aerosolized. Do you know that one COVID micron is 40,000 times smaller in area than the cross-section of a human hair? Look at one piece of human hair. Your masks, everyone's masks, they're not tight-fitting. Masks do not stop a virus. In my almost 20 years in this profession, we have never, ever in any setting, military, hospital, nothing. And I managed the decon line of the city of Chicago in the event of pandemic. We never put people in masks. We put them in respiratory protection. The reason we don't, we put them in respiratory protection. The reason we don't put people in masks is because we did a violet test and we put powder on surfaces and didn't tell the healthcare workers and the military people bringing them in. They kept touching their mask. They had it in their hair, they had it on their water bottles. Every person in this room has touched their mask. I've seen them. And I'm not trying to shame you. I understand you've been misguided and you're not following 29 CFR 1910.134 Appendix D in an occupational setting that you're going to electively wear a mask that's not rated to protect you from a hazard. You must be trained on the limitation, storage, cleaning, usage. The pediatrician that was up here and set her mask on here, no disrespect, she loses all credibility. Because in a healthcare setting, I would write her up to pay her up. I would write her up that do that. 1 minute. Okay, thank you. Please understand, I'm not just here to complain. I'm going to tell you what you can do. You ready? You follow the hierarchy of controls. And to the superintendent, I can, after the facts, you can look at my number. I don't give my address for security reasons, but I can guide you. There was engineering controls, dilution and destruction technology, 10 grand a building. Use your COVID funds. I wave air. No profit off that. That's just a brand I like. It will kill all viruses, bacteria, and mold in your buildings. So not only is that great for now, it's great for everything. So please remember, I'm not here to say masks don't work. I'm providing a resolution. Engineering controls. Please look up Petty Podcasts. Stephen Petty, again, Petty Podcasts. His videos are 4 to 12 minutes. Talks about source control, of engineering controls. We are the subject matter experts. Please stop listening to the white coats, because the real white coats will tell you I am the expert. My field is the expert. Thank you. Unmask our children. It is child abuse. By definition, it does decrease oxygen by up to 20%. That's why you have to have a medical clearance to wear an N95 respirator.